Let's stay on this and speak now to Jamie Smith-Maillet, who is a French journalist. He joins us now live from Tours in France. Jamie, what did you make of what President Macron has just said?
Yes, good evening. I mean, and what we can see there from that speech is pretty much in many ways it was what was more or less predicted, I would say, is that he had said previously, as some were saying, this might be his resignation speech, where maybe expecting a big announcement. But he had said previously that he would not resign, so that was really not on the cards this evening. I mean, I was expecting a speech nonetheless that would bring across sort of an idea of stability is needed, the urgency of sorting out the budget for next year, that sort of thing as well. And ultimately, we did get that message. We also got the sort of strong message from President Macron that he really is not to blame in all of this. He did say it was probably an easy solution to say, and he's heard that this was his fault. In fact, he laid the finger of blame in many ways on what he called the extreme parties in the parliament coming together and actually joining forces for the vote of no confidence. And he said now the mission ahead for him is to find a prime minister who will be able to build consensus, who will be able to ultimately bring politics and the parliament and the country back together. With the urgency, as we were hearing there as well, of obviously President Trump, among others, visiting Paris on Saturday morning. So a message really of stability needed for the time ahead. Nothing that really shocked me massively in what we would expect him to say at this point.
And what do you think is going to happen in the short term? Who do you think Macron will choose as Prime Minister in the coming days, as he's been saying?
Yeah, in the coming days, indeed, and that was a clear message as well, that he hopes to bring someone in, appoint someone quite quickly in the coming days ahead, and not the sort of 2 months that we saw initially from the June-July elections. What we can see here is that there are probably a number of names being looked at from centrist parties. Already a couple of ministers in the cabinet, the Minister for the Armed Forces, Sébastien Lecornu, who has been in discussions. We know possibly a name being voiced there, Bruno Retailleau, who is the Minister for the Interior, François Bayrou of Modem, which is another centre party. We know that he had lunch with Macron today as well. So there's a number of names coming out possibly in the centre. Could there also be an attempt to reach out to the Parti Socialiste, the left-wing party, with Bernard Cazeneuve, who left the left-wing party, but joining forces with the centre and the left? In any case, it's going to be tricky to find someone who has an outright consensus. The message from the Groupe Les Insoumis, the France Unpirates, which is the hard left party in France as part of the new Popular Front on the left, their message today was, in any case, that they would vote another vote of no confidence in any prime minister if it was not one coming from the left bloc.
And we've just been, well, we are looking right now at images of protests on the streets. Clearly there's anger on the streets of France, but how is this impacting people's pockets, people's lives, and also just more broadly in Europe, for France to have this political instability at the same time as Germany?
Yeah, absolutely. A message that Macron had sent, or sorry, Michel Barnier had put across, is that this vote of no confidence in any case was actually going to push taxes up next year, naturally, with inflation, because there's no immediate budget set for the coming year. And as you probably know there, have been discussing, is the economy in France overall, not necessarily the economy, but debt levels sitting at 6%. And to bring that down next year, so the belt tightening measures of higher taxes and perhaps reducing public services were discussed. Ultimately, on the street, that I think, from talking to people here as well, where I am in Tours, there's frustration on the one hand with the political establishment. People are really kind of disheartened in many ways, feeling disconnected from what's going on in Parliament, and that has led to a lot of unrest. But also the picture of Parliament shows you how divided France is, with these 3 blocs in Parliament, the rise of the far right we saw in June and July, and also the left coming together in this really unforeseen sort of grouping of left-wing parties. In terms of the European perspective you were asking of there, well, obviously France, along with Germany, two of the most powerful countries within the EU, both in complete political turmoil and chaos, we could even say at this moment in time, with obviously Trump returning to office in January. The message we had heard earlier with him as president-elect a few weeks ago from Emmanuel Macron himself was one of solidarity being sought across the nations. So tricky times ahead in any case.
Absolutely. Jamie, thank you so much. Fantastic to have you on the programme today. Thank you for your time and analysis. Jamie Smith-Maillet, French journalist, joining us from Tours in France.